drive on any major freeway in the world, what you're going to see is trucks loaded with goods. If you go to any airport in the world, you're going to see aeroplanes loaded with goods moving around the world. Our ports are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So there's huge growth in this global industry, and I think that any student who is considering an exciting, dynamic and fast-moving career should really be looking at logistics and supply chain management. When people come to RMIT, they think of work readiness. But what does that mean? Well, to be work ready, our graduates are engaging with industry throughout their degree programs. And that might be bringing guest speakers in from the big logistics firms, supply chain managers in from around the world. We have a range of ways in which we can connect our students to industry.
Honda Australia is a distributor of motor vehicles, and being a distributor of motor vehicles means that supply chain and logistics encompasses most of our activities in Australia, from the time a product is sourced from overseas through to when it is delivered to our dealers and then to our end customers. So whether it be putting the car onto a ship and bringing it across, to preparing it through dealerships and then delivering it to the final customer.
Logistics to me is fascinating because there's a lot of interaction of people and systems and equipment, and each of these components are complex in nature. And so logistics is about bringing them all together to have a complete picture so that things are received on time, in order.
I ended up choosing RMIT to study logistics and supply chain really based on the co-op year that they offer. So instead of choosing a 3-year degree, I decided to go with the 4-year. So the co-op year enables students to get some work experience during their studies. It's during their 3rd year, and it allows you to work in the field that you're studying. So I think that compared to other universities, that gives RMIT students a real edge.
RMIT logistics program has got 2 streams. They've got a 3-year program. After 3 years of study, the students graduate. And then the other one is a 4-year degree program, whereby in their 3rd year, they are attached to an organization. Of course, they get a salary, okay? But they get to get in touch with what goes on in the real world. So whatever concept they've learned in their 1st and 2nd year, they get the opportunity to apply it.
I chose logistics and supply chain management purely because I was always interested in the business field. And after coming to the RMIT Open Day, I realised what the logistics and supply chain management course had to offer.
When I talk to my students, I will always say things like, when you come to RMIT, it prepares you for the industry.
I chose logistics and supply chain management at RMIT University purely because when I started looking at different jobs and careers available once I finish uni, I was thinking logistics and supply chain can be applied to every company.
So the supply chain is the biggest area of spend in our business. If you get things right, you can have a really strong impact on the bottom line, and if you get things wrong, you can mess it up pretty quickly as well. So it's a really important part of Simplot, and that's why we try and secure the best possible graduates talent pool we can, and RMIT has been a place where we've enjoyed success with our graduates.
I chose logistics and supply chain because I personally believe that after my degree I will be able to have a job for the rest of my future career. There will always be a demand for a job in logistics and supply chain management, and I also believe that I will get a lot of enjoyment out of doing this degree.